So let's talk about something that might sound kind of counterintuitive. What if I told you that the biggest, most amazing changes in your life aren't going to come from some huge, dramatic effort? Nope, they come from these tiny, almost unnoticeable changes you make every single day. And it really all boils down to this one little number, 1%. I know, it sounds like nothing, right? Insignificant? But trust me, the magic isn't in the 1% itself. It's all about what happens when you start stacking that 1% day after day after day.
So that really brings us to the big question, doesn't it? Can a change that small, just 1%, really transform your life? Well, the whole idea we're going to unpack today is built on a huge, resounding yes. And honestly, the results are way more powerful than you might think.
All right, so here's what we've got on tap. We're going to start with what even are atomic habits? Then we'll walk through the 4 laws that make it all tick. Make it obvious, make it attractive, make it easy, and make it satisfying. And to wrap it all up, we'll circle back to the incredible power of that 1%. All right, let's get into it. First up, what are atomic habits? Let's break down the science of these tiny improvements. You know, the real clue is right there in the name. Think about it, atomic. An atomic habit isn't just small, it's fundamental. It's like an atom, right? The tiny building block of a molecule. These habits are the exact same thing for your personal growth. They're the tiny little units that build up into this huge system. And here's the thing. Every single one of our habits, the good ones and the bad ones, they all run on the same 4-step program in our brains. It goes cue, craving, response, reward. That's it. And the 4 laws we're about to get into, they're basically the user manual for hijacking this loop and making it work for you. Okay, so that brings us perfectly to our first law. Make it obvious. This one is all about that first step in the loop, the trigger, the cue. And the goal here is super simple. You just have to make the starting pistol for your good habits totally, completely obvious. And the logic, honestly, is so straightforward, it's beautiful. For a good habit you want to build, you make the cue as obvious and visible as you can. And for a bad habit you want to break, you guessed it. You do the exact opposite. You make it invisible. So how do you apply it? Well, this is where you stop trying to use brute force willpower and start being an architect of your own environment. Think about it. Putting your running shoes right by the door, that's not just being organized, that's a brilliant strategic cue. Or putting your phone in another room so you stop scrolling, that isn't a sign of weakness. It's just smart environmental design. You're setting yourself up to win. Okay, law number 2, make it attractive. Because look, having an obvious cue is great, but it's not enough. You've got to actually want to do the thing, right? This law targets that next part of the loop, the craving. This one is all about psychology. It's about playing with the anticipation, the feeling you have about a habit. The goal is to make good habits seem super appealing and bad habits, well, totally unattractive. And there are some awesome ways to do this. You can pair something you want to do with something you need to do. Like maybe you only let yourself watch your favorite show while you're on the exercise bike. Or, and this is a big one, you just reframe how you think about it. Instead of groaning, "Ugh, I have to exercise," you tell yourself, "I get to build my strength." See the difference? That simple mindset shift makes it way more attractive. All right, on to the 3rd law, make it easy. So you've made the habit obvious, you've made it attractive, but if it's a huge pain to actually do, you're still probably not going to do it. It's just human nature, right? We're all wired to take the path of least resistance. So the whole game here is about friction. For good habits, you want to remove as much friction as possible, make them almost effortless. And for bad habits, you want to add friction. Add extra steps, make it inconvenient, a total hassle. And one of the best ways to do this is with what's called the 2-minute rule. It's an absolute game changer. The idea is that any new habit should take less than 2 minutes to do. So if you want to read more, your habit isn't read a book. It's read 1 page. If you want to exercise, your habit is just put on my running shoes. You're making it so easy to start that you can't say no. You're mastering the art of just showing up. Okay, we've arrived at the final law, and this is the one that really makes a habit stick for the long haul. The 4th law, make it satisfying. This is all about closing that habit loop with a reward. Here's the most basic rule of all human behavior. What gets rewarded gets repeated. It's that simple. So the trick is to give yourself some kind of immediate win, a little burst of satisfaction, the second you finish a good habit. You know what's a perfect example of this? A habit tracker.
Just the simple act of putting an X on a calendar feels good. It's a tiny little reward. It's visual proof that you're making progress, and you get that little satisfying hit. That feedback tells your brain, hey, that was awesome. Let's do that again tomorrow. So there you have it. The 4 laws. Make it obvious, attractive, easy, and satisfying. Now, let's bring this all home and connect it back to that little number we started with, that 1%. Let's really see the power of putting this whole system together. Check out the absolutely insane math behind this. If you get just 1% better at something every single day for a year, you don't end up 365% better. No. Because of compounding, it all builds on itself. You end up almost 38 times better. Let that sink in. That's the incredible power of tiny, consistent effort. And this really gets to the heart of the whole thing. This isn't just about hitting a one-time goal, like losing 10 pounds or running a marathon. It's about building a completely new system for your life. The real goal isn't to read a book, it's to become a reader. The goal isn't to run a race, it's to become a runner. These 4 laws are the tools you use to build the person you want to be, one tiny habit at a time. So, that really just leaves one final, powerful question for you. Now that you've seen the whole system, you understand the laws, you see the mind-blowing math, what's one tiny 1% habit that you can start today? What's that first small step? Because remember, the most remarkable results always start with the smallest changes.